Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Friday afternoon slash evening slash Saturday morning, Zoom edition, depending where you are in the world. And the market's just kind of creeping down this week. Very dull, very boring, very unimaginative, kind of frustrating. I think Bitcoin's down about 3%, but we're holding fast, holding tight for those Ethereum ETF approvals that we're hoping for in early July. That could pump the market considerably or not. Anyway, let's go to the charts, check it out. Okay, should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
Yep.
Thank you. And I'm going to move this over a little bit. It's not helping me. What I wanted to show is we have 5 straight days of negative action on the day chart, negative closes. So we're down, yeah, almost 4% this week, a little over 1% today. And we were up in the high 60s. Looks like we were going to push 70K again, and then just starts falling again. So that's been frustrating. Ethereum might be holding up a little better. Let's check that. So we're down about 3% on Ethereum. But I was going through Twitter, and Eric Balchunas, my ETF guy who I follow, recommended by Bryce and CryptNation. A bunch of institutions filed their amended S1 forms today. I'm not going to go into any detail about forms for the SEC, but he and his talking head group are still holding the line with July 2nd as the ETF launch date. So if that happens, that should move the market somewhat. It's possible that's priced in already, but since the market's drifting down, I'm thinking not. Maybe we'll get some action next week on people getting ahead of the game. And then he goes into additional tweets on which institutions are filing. So if you want to go through and follow this person, Eric Balchunas, on Twitter, I look at Twitter for 5 or 10 minutes a day at the most, and it's usually him I'm looking at. So okay, any questions on the markets overall? Anything to add? Guys are pretty quiet. Okay, well, let's look at Altcoin Alert, see if we can.
Took me a second to get the button unmuted. Did y'all see
Oh,
the story on that Germany's like dumping their Bitcoin?
no. Why would Germany dump their Bitcoin?
They've got just a ton of it. They took down a some criminal enterprise ago,
Oh,
and now they're dumping it, and there's a huge amount of Bitcoin. I
all
mean it.
right.
I put it on the yeah, there it is right there.
Yeah.
And they've already dumped a ton of it here in the last 24 hours, and then they are spreading it out a bunch different wallets. So we're not sure, but it's
Okay, this isn't okay. I know what this is. So what happens is when a government or some police force in that government seizes crypto, usually in some kind of financial issue, or they're seizing assets based on criminal activity, they will liquidate it and turn it into their currency. So yeah, I'm not expecting Germany or the US or any other country outside of El Salvador to actually hold crypto on their balance sheets like where was the company? MicroStrategy would do. So this doesn't surprise me that they're liquidating Bitcoin if they seized it that way. But yeah, I'm not going to read the whole article, but you might want to check it out. It is on the Bitcoin section of TradingView in the news. So yeah, that's what's going on there. And that would, that much Bitcoin would drag down the market. Looks like they had some Ethereum and BNB as well. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thanks, Kim. And anyone else have anything to add to the markets overall before we check out Altcoin Alert? All right, let's do it. So Altcoin Alert, I have easy mode off. I'm on the altcoin radar. I'm going to reload, get the most current information. The first sort I usually do is an AA score, looking for values 80 or higher. As AA is saying, let's say BitTorrent here, BTT has an 83.1% chance of going up 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. Since it's Friday afternoon, I tend to give that a little more time. BTT is an older project, not something I like to trade. So I'm going to look for something I know moves pretty well and is on a exchange that I like to trade. Altcoin Alert did add quite a few more coins. So something like this, ZK Sync, never heard of, Harry Potter, whatever. So we're probably going to get more meme coins showing up on these AA scores. I'm not real comfortable in trading those, so I may or may not look at them. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and stay with what I know. And we'll look at GTC, Gitcoin, and Mask I've been trading the last couple days. So let's look at GTC for now and see if we can find a trade with that. We'll look for something long on both a day trade and a swing trade. So if you're fairly new to this type of trading, maybe you're trading on Coinbase, you can pile up, say, 1, 2, 3% wins. You can grow your balance pretty well that way. Or if you want to trade longer term, shoot for 5 or 10% on a swing trade approach, we'll look at that too. For now, I'm on my day trading layout, which is a 15-minute chart. I use the supply and demand visible range by Lux Algo. I was helping Keck earlier this week, and every indicator that I use was available on a basic trading view plan. So that was good to find out. So you should be able to find these indicators if you want to use them. Feel free to mess around with something that's similar or even different. Anyway, back to the 15-minute chart. Ideally, on a long, I want something coming out of the green zone here, the support area, and this RTI, the relative trend index, breaking above the 20. And then sometimes I look at this cumulative delta for additional confirmation. But I mostly look at support and resistance with this indicator and a break above the 20 or the 50, depending on the market with the RTI. So at the moment, we're kind of putzing around the 20 value here on the RTI. It's not really broken out since early this morning. And even then, it wasn't that much. This breakout this morning happened right about here. Picked up 1.5%. That's a trade I like as a day trader because I'm on 10x leverage. So that's a 15% profit for me. If you're fairly new to this approach, don't use leverage until you have some sustained success as a spot trader. But even 1.5% on a spot trade is pretty good. Do a couple of those a day, you'll be in good shape. Okay, so what do we do now? Where it just broke above the 20. I'm generally reluctant to do any longs on Friday afternoon, especially given the market's just been kind of sliming on down. So I probably wouldn't take this trade, but if you're more optimistic than I am, it's a pretty good entry. We're in the green zone. We broke above the 20, even though it's going sideways now on the RTI. And you've got, your exit could be, I see some resistance here around the 2.5% area. And then the red zone is up here around 7%. That'd be a great day trade. So those are two potential exits if you want to get in now, or you could try to get a slightly better position by setting an alert on the RTI. That's not what I want. So we're going to crossing up on the 20. Once per bar close, if you want to leave it all day, leave it on all day. If you just want to get in, have one alert, then select only once. And the alert name, AA score is what I would usually put for such an alert. And notify an app. That's the app on my phone. Show a pop-up on my desktop computer and play a sound on my desktop computer. Probably go with either chirpy or 3 notes reverb, but choose the one you like. Try a few. Okay, but I'm not going to set this one for me. Any questions on GTC as a day trade? Now, as a swing, we're going to look at a different layout, though it has some similarities. So, and then I'm going to use my supply and demand, or I still have the supply and demand visible range for support and resistance. I like the SuperTrend because it's alert friendly, lets me know when a trend has changed. And then I use this Trendilo LSMA, which is a moving average, and that tells me that I use that for confirmation. So ideally, we would get something like this. We had a buy signal trigger here on Tuesday night, breaking out of the green zone. We get a buy signal and then a green Trendilo LSMA. So we get a slight move up, then a dip, then quite a bit larger move, 10% move. I probably would have been looking back here at this gathering of candles as a resistance point. You could go up to the red zone for 18%. I'm usually looking for 8 to 10%, give or take. So had I been conservative on this one, I would have gotten out with an 8% profit. Love that. Had I been more aggressive, I'd still be in that trade, and most likely had to make a couple additional purchases because it did dip again. So, and alerts on the SuperTrend are really easy. Right click, and if you want to keep this on for a long period of time, maybe a couple days, you can trade both directions, which is what I frequently do when I use this. You can go with the direction change. If you're just looking for longs, select a buy. Either leave it on once or once per bar close. I'd probably just leave it on once. And this is an AA score. Notifications on the app, on the pop-up. Play a sound. And for my swing trades, I'll go with a handbell. I'll just go ahead and set this one. So, and it's like, oh, did I do that right? I don't know. So go over to your alerts, and then the most recent one you set up should show up. So, okay, that's GTC is a long trade on the swing trade layout. Any questions on that? Okay, we'll look at some more on Altcoin Alert using different sorts. I'll probably go a little faster. So let's do it. So that was an AA score. Another one I like for day trades is a social activity. Match it up with day trading activity. And we got TRB, which has been up, doing really well lately. So we got fire on both. Let's check that one out. And this is on Coinbase too. So we'll look at the Coinbase chart. Yeah, so this had a pump, early this morning and then a nice retrace. So I like getting into this probably now not financial advice. Ideally, you get in down here, but maybe dollar cost average in, try to ride this back up. That's 17% on my day trading layout. Love that. I'd probably be content with like around 9%, maybe even this amount here at 4%. So those are all potential exits if you got in now, or you could wait for this to dip further below the 20. Set that alert on the RTI, crossing up on the 20. I think it's already up Yeah, or above the 50. Maybe do both of them. One on the 20, one on the 50, or maybe just the 50 because that's the one most likely to go. And this is a social activity sort. And you might want to use a different sound for different trade layout. Maybe chirpy or 3 notes, or alarm clock's kind of obnoxious, but it's your call. If I'm relying on the 50, that in my mind, that's more trend based. I'll usually look at the cumulative delta for confirmation. So let's see if we can find an example of that. Yeah, we had a break here, bit of a fake out. We had a break above the 50 here, but it's a little too smashed on the cumulative to tell if that would have been helpful. I see some green candles up here that might have been useful for confirmation. Okay, let's get rid of this. Any questions on TRB as a day trade? Okay, we'll look at as a swing. I think it's going to look pretty similar. On the hour chart, we've got quite a ways to go to get down to the green zone, like 13 to 15%. So if you got in now, I think it's going to be about the same. Yeah, 15, 16% to go to where these candles were. Or maybe 6% where these other candles are. So those are potential areas of exit. If you're more of a swing trader, you might want to wait till we get another buy signal on the SuperTrend. Right now we're in a sell. If you want to short something, this would be a pretty good candidate. Coming out of the red zone, sell, though we don't have a Trendilo LSMA confirmation, though it is starting to hook. So you might want to check back on this in an hour or so, see if it hooks down and changes color. But on a short, you'd probably get in once that changes around here. Take that down 10%. That'd be a good weekend short. Okay, any questions on TRB? All right, so we've done a social activity sort, an AA score. Let's see, 1 hour projected. Haven't looked at this in a while. This one's sort of intriguing. We've got the lower is 0.8 and the upper is almost 6%, with an average of 2.5%. So with this, what I don't like is this on this particular one. I haven't talked about this sort a whole lot, but see when it's 30 up and then negative 30 on the bottom, that's not useful, I think. But this one here, we're very, very small chance of a dip according to this information. That's useful. AVA, which is positive on both. So these two could be useful on a 1 hour projected range. And this is a short trade. It's only supposed to be in it for an hour or so. So let's check out near, because I haven't done this this sort in quite a while. This is a coin I was trading earlier this year quite a bit. Okay, we're up 4% today. Yeah, we're on the top of the zone right now. So I would want this to dip first before I got in. Yeah, don't like that. So yeah, I'd want this to break below the 50, like this one here.
Got a question.
Okay.
You said when you pull this up, you said 4%. I forget what it was you were saying. 4%. What do you have that set at? 4% for the day.
Are you talking about what I saw on Altcoin Alert or
No,
a
it's when you
goal?
first pull the screen up. I don't know what you were looking at actually. You pulled this up, and I think it's 4% for the day, or
Oh, like a 3% in the next 48 to 72 hours?
uh,
I don't know where you got 4%.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what you said, and I was like, okay, where's that at, and where did you get that from?
Might have been
Normally
the
you look at
24-hour change on what I was looking at. I don't remember exactly. So
okay. I mean, you said it just as the chart was coming up, and I was like, okay, what are we talking about? So, okay, we'll
maybe it
figure
was
it out.
the 1 hour projected range. And again, there's no fours here, so you stumped me on that one, Kim.
Okay.
If you figure it out, email me about it later. So maybe I can help out with it. Okay, so we were looking at near, and we're towards the red zone on the 15-minute. So, oh yeah, I was going to look at this. Last time it broke below the 50 and came back up, we got a nice move. That happened here, and we got to move 2.6%. I like that. So when it's breaking above the 50, we have another one here. It's making 2-3% moves. Yeah, so that's good stuff. That's like 2 or 3 trades a day on the same coin. Get a couple percent. Okay, if you're more of a swing trader, let's look at near on that layout. Okay, on the hour chart, we're in a buy on the SuperTrend. Trendilo LSMA is pointing up. We're a little late to this one, but I'd say like a short-term swing trade for 5%. Not bad. To the red zone here. So that would be a pretty good entry. Yeah, I like it. So I think and it's pretty much where it was when the buy signal went out, in the wee hours of the morning. So I don't see any problem with taking that. I'd say hold some funds back in case it dips down here to the green zone, because we've got potential retracement, 15%. I'd probably buy back again here at around 8% dip, and then again down here around 16%. That's how I would handle that one. And then looking on a longer time frame, yeah, it's got plenty of room to retrace. Yeah, I remember I was trading this back here and it was closer to $10 in May and April. So there's plenty of room to retrace on a swing trade. If you want to hold it for a few weeks or months, on the 4-hour chart, your retrace here is 50%. So love that. Though it might take, a few weeks to go that far. Okay, any questions on near? Okay, we've looked at 3 different sorts. I usually do 4 or 5. Let's look at a short for the weekend. So, and I usually do that on my long-term sentiment sort. This one here. And instead of looking for bullish, I'm going to look for bearish. So sometimes I get sidetracked and look at bullish as well. And frequently I may sort this and get a bearish score, but I'll evaluate it as a long as well. Because sometimes something's pushing up and it looks like it's going to break, but then it pushes up again. So got to keep that in mind. I was looking at XRP earlier, but it wasn't moving very well. KDA, I think Flow is the one I liked as a short, but we lost the bearish on the Elder Impulse Daily. So we got Luna, FTX, Theta, Cody. Let's look at Theta. See if that one's moving at all. Okay. So as a short, we're a little closer to support than I would like. I've got 2% down. So if you're looking for kind of a scalp, a 1 to 2% move, you might want to wait till this breaks the 50. The RTI breaks the 50. That could be a good entrance, but you are pretty close to support. Ideally, you have a move more like this. It breaks above the 80 and then comes down. You probably get in around here, and that's a, almost a 3% move. So on a short for a day trade, I'd want it to move up a little bit more, break above the 80 and then dip again. So that alert's going to look like this. RTI crossing down on the 80. And that was a long-term sentiment buy. Then set it up the rest how you want, how you see fit. You could be a little more aggressive and go with the 50. It's hovering above the 50 at the moment. So if it does dip again, it's going to trigger that alert, but you are pretty close to support. I took a trade like this on Mask today and just barely got out in profit. So probably shouldn't have done it, but fortunately it worked out. All right. So that's theta on a short on a day trade. Any questions on that one? Okay, let's look at theta as a swing. Looks pretty similar to near. And again, we're pretty close to the green zone. We got in this now. It's 10%. That's pretty good. Coming down to this this zone here around 136. And yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't get in now. The sell has triggered. The Trendilo LSMA is down, and we're pretty close. We've lost it. We're a little late to this. Ideally, we've gotten in here at about 152. We're at 150.16 at the moment. So, I mean, hardly at all, 0.3%. I just, again, hold some funds back in case it pumps on you. But on shorts, I use stop losses. So I'd probably set a stop loss somewhere up here around like 180. Okay, any questions on our weekend short, theta? Well, that's about all I had to offer. Do you guys want to, is there anything else you want to talk about or some other coins you want to look at? All right. We're short, sweet, and hard to beat today. Well, thanks for joining me on a Friday. If you're watching this on the recording, I'd rather see you live on Mondays and Fridays, but recording is fine as well. Check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help fund the channel. You guys have a good weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Cheers.